exactly right. The mean, the median, and mode. Okay. So, well, our mean is the arithmetic average. I'll come on to what that means in a bit. The median is just the middle value, or the middle entry, say data entry. And the mode is the most common. Okay, and like Michael said, we also have measures of spread. And these are, so we've already got range. I'll put range, oh, sorry. My head's doing one thing and my hand's writing another. Michael's already said variance and standard deviation. I'm going to put these two together because they're pretty much almost exactly the same thing. We also have the range, and we've got the interquartile range, which, to save me writing, from now on, I'm going to abbreviate to IQR. Okay, so the first type of data we're going to have is going to be a list of numbers. So let's say we've got 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 11, 12, 15, 5, 13, 16, and we'll have another 2. Just make the numbers pretty all-rightish. Okay, so we'll quickly run through. A lot of this will probably be quite basic for you. Doesn't mean they're not going to ask it. So the mode, we just look for the most frequent. So 6 is the mode because it appears the most often. The mode, there can be more than one if certain values appear the same frequency. Okay. The median is the n plus 1 over 2 entry term. So that's true in general. For a list of numbers, we can simply cross out. So I'm going to cross out with highlighter so that it doesn't actually like cross out in a really like annoying way. So we just cross one off from the top and the bottom each time. And if you get to 2 in the middle, then we go just right down the middle. It's middle diddle. So we would say, well, in between this, we have 6.5. And the mean is the sum of all the x values divided by the number of terms. So this is 2 plus 2 plus all the way up to 15 plus 16, divided by the number of terms, which I tried to make, oh, for goodness sake, am I being serious? Yeah, well, I tried to make it 15, but it's 14. So the answer we get for that is, let's just do it in my head, 7, 12, 18, 24, 30, 44, 52, 63, 75, 90, 106, divided by 14. So I make that 7.57. Okay. Now let's go through the measures of spread. Well, for spread, for this, if you're a standard level student, you won't need to know how to do this by hand. High level students will go through calculating variance and standard deviation by hand in tomorrow's session, which is a high level version of stats and probability. But for now, let's go for the sort of easier ones. The range is the maximum value, subtract the minimum value. So that would be 16 subtract 2, which gives us 14. The interquartile range is the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. So the upper quartile, which is UQ, is the 75th percentile. Well, it's basically halfway along the top half of data now that our median has separated it. Okay, so this is 75th percentile. So it tells us the value in our data range where 75% of our data is below that value. So once our median has split this data, we now do the same thing. So let's use a different color. So we cross that out 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So this then is our upper quartile. And doing the same thing, we'd find that this is our lower quartile. So our lower quartile similarly shows our 25th percentile. So the way I always remembered it was that if we went, say, from our minimum, then lower quartile, then our median, then upper quartile, then our maximum, each of these goes up 25% of the data. So if I looked at between the lower quartile and the upper quartile, there are 50% of the data. So that's what the interquartile range shows you. What is the middle 50%? Okay, and if we do that, we find that the interquartile range then is equal to 11 subtract 5, which is 6. Now for the standard deviation, we're going to use our calculator. Now for both types of calculator, you're going to go into stat mode, and we're going to type the list. Okay, so now if we go into stats, for Casio, you're ready to type your list straight away. For TI, you want to go into edit, and we're just going to type in each data value and click enter. So it was 2, 2, 3, 5, and then 3 6s. And then let me just check the thing. So 7, 7, 8, 11, 12, 15, 16. Okay. So now what we're going to do on our Casio calculator, you're going to go onto calc 1 var stats. On TI, you're going to go into stat, move along to calc, and again go 1 var stats. Now I'm going to write, if any of you are TI and aren't happy with how to do this, just drop me an email. I'm writing, sorry, a Casio. I'm writing it in full in TI because that seems to be one that most people seem to use. Remember, there's also the video on how to use a calculator from a few weeks back, which goes through all of this as well. So our 1 var stats, if we click enter now the list is L1. Now the frequency list, there isn't a frequency list, so you enter this as 1. No, you don't enter that as 1. Sorry, so calc 1 var stats, we leave the frequency list blank. Yes, okay. So freq list, leave it blank. On Casio, if you go on to second calc, your options, again, you have the choice of either setting a frequency list or setting it as or setting the frequency equal to 1. So that's the same thing that we've done here. And so if we look on our calculator, it tells us lots of information. And all we're looking for, well, if we wanted X bar is the mean, it will tell us everything that we've already found, but the extra piece of information that we've got here is that the standard deviation is going to be 4.43. This, yeah. So the standard deviation is 4.43. There's also the button that says sigma x, which is 4.27. Oh, does anyone know the difference between the value of sigma x and the value of sx? and which one we should be using.
I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to click down here to like, subscribe and share with a friend. If you'd like to access the full online course, including the notes pages we were making, there's a link in our description below. Thank you for watching and good luck with your revision.